Though it originated in Japan, anime is something that is celebrated worldwide. As such, cultural and racial diversity in anime is deeply important, and a lot of our favorite anime shows and movies acknowledge this very notion. In the Cowboy Bebop art book, The Jazz Messengers, creator Shinichiro Watanabe says that for the show, he, quote, paid a lot of attention to skin color, also to using multiple languages. One of my favorite episodes of Cowboy Bebop is Stray Dog Strut, wherein Spike is chasing down a character by the name of Abdul Hakim, who was actually modeled after NBA star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, as a kid, I also just thought it was pretty damn cool because his name was very close to mine. Then I found out later on, after some research, that my name is actually a modern transcription of Hakim. That's so cool. Now, throughout Watanabe's works, you'll see a wealth of culturally and racially diverse characters, and because of anime pioneers like him, we see that more and more in modern anime. And so, in honor of Black History Month, here's a list of our favorite Black anime characters.
My powers are flash and still more in my stash. 8 tails, that be me, the rapping Killer Bee.
Killer Bee from Naruto. While his rhymes were kinda whack, the rapping Killer Bee's skills as the Jinchuriki of 8 Tails were pretty fresh. Killer Bee's story is one of adversity and how to overcome it, at least in his earlier years. He was shunned by the villagers in the town he lived in and used rapping almost as a coping mechanism to maintain a positive demeanor throughout it all. Now, I don't really need to explain to you guys the long and storied history of rap music, but essentially, it's a genre of music created and popularized by inner city blacks in the Bronx of New York City in the 70s. Now, that's a place that Killer Bee is clearly far removed from, but somehow it had a cultural impact on him. Killer Bee is a character who was forced to become a hero in order to protect those around him, even though they pretty much treated him like crap. Now, what makes Killer Bee so admirable in the anime is how he's not only powerful, but proud. I mean, he's very, very proud. Sometimes his pride borderlines being perceived as cocky.
Bloodlust bravery makes me go ballistic. Knowing you can't stop me makes me optimistic.
But his origin story of overcoming adversity from the prejudices he'd face against the villagers and Jinchuriki can be considered an allegory to those we might face in our very own society, and possibly how to deal with it, with a smile and a song in our hearts, knowing that if we stay the course, we'll overcome it.
I'm a rap-loving guy. I got me a hunch that I just decided on sukiyaki for lunch. Yeah.
Mohammed Avdol from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure's influence cannot be denied, and Stardust Crusaders is arguably one of the best story arcs in the franchise. Honestly, it's because of Jotaro Kujo. He's everyone's favorite JoJo. Don't at me on that. You guys know it's true. The Stardust Crusaders also gave us the wise and powerful stand user, Mohammed Avdol. Avdol is one of the more experienced and strategic stand users and oftentimes errs on the side of caution during the group's travels. His wisdom is what makes him a dignified character, and his arcane knowledge is what makes him a valuable asset within the grand scheme of things in JoJo as they set out to put an end to Dio. Now, in an anime full of unique characters, it's really awesome to see a person of color represented in such a bizarre world. Avdol was the epitome of badass, and his stand Magician's Red was fire. Literally fire.
Are you really Mohammed Avdol?
Yes, you have better believe I am.
Rocklock from My Hero Academia. Rocklock, or Ken Takagi, was introduced to us in season 4 of My Hero Academia, and when I saw Rocklock sitting there at that table with the rest of the heroes, I was super excited. I mean, it's really cool seeing some representation in such a popular anime series. In fact, when the simul-dubbed episode aired, I gave a shout out to the VO artist Gabriel Kunda over on Twitter. He's a very talented voiceover artist and a welcomed addition to the diverse cast on My Hero Academia. Ken's quirk is also pretty awesome. Essentially, Ken's quirk allows him to immobilize inanimate objects, freezing them in a fixed location. Now, while he may not have a large role in the ever-growing sea of superheroes in My Hero Academia, he's valued, and his presence in the anime series speaks to the ever-growing diversity we see in anime. Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop. Now, Cowboy Bebop is one of my all-time favorite anime shows, and I think a lot of folks out there who consider themselves anime fanatics will definitely have it on their top 10 list. And it was on that very show, this very show, that we were introduced to the captain and leader of the bounty hunting crew aboard the Bebop, Jet Black. Jet is pretty much everything you'd want in a strong anime character. He's wise, a good cook, and he's always giving good advice. Oh yeah, not to mention, he's a really good ally to have in a dogged-out space fight. Now, you might even classify him under a fatherly role amongst his crew, despite how much he'd hate being considered as such.
Wait a minute. First of all, I'm not old enough to be your father, all right? Why, if anything, I could be your boyfriend. No, wait, that would be bad, wouldn't it?
Some of my favorite scenes are his interactions with Spike. Though the two often fight, there was always a genuine love between the two characters. Jet's taste in music is eclectic. He's a lover of jazz and blues, music that originated in the Deep South and bears roots in African spiritual music traditions. Voiced by the great Beau Billingsley, who you may also know as the narrator from Outlaw Star, another awesome action anime that takes place in space, Jet is undeniably the essence of cool and class.
Yo! Afro Samurai's coming!
Afro from Afro Samurai. Now, Afro Samurai was really unique in how it came into existence from the manga pages created and illustrated by Takashi Okazaki. The hip-hop and soul influences of Afro Samurai can be seen throughout the pages, and the anime was no different. One of the many things that makes Afro Samurai unique, and I might even argue influential, was the reverse engineering process which brought the anime into existence. Now, typically, anime is made in Japan. Then we receive it here stateside, subbed or dubbed, or sometimes both. Afro Samurai was actually made in Japan for a North American audience. They didn't even bother to touch the VO when they eventually subbed it for Japan because, well, it was so damn good the way it was. I mean, think about it. You got Lucy Liu, Ron Perlman, who were both villains in the series, and Samuel L. Jackson, who, by the way, was the Afro Samurai. Afro and his alter ego / psyche Ninja. Hearing Samuel L. Jackson's iconic voice as Ninja was a trip and really brought the whole story to life, given the juxtaposition of Afro's quiet demeanor and Ninja's loud, frenetic energy being that little bug in Afro's ear. Not to mention Wu-Tang's RZA scored the entire series, giving it a nice hip-hop flair. Now, with all these little elements infused into one anime series, Afro Samurai had the right amount of cachet to cement its place as one of the most culturally and racially diverse anime properties to date.
I knew something was off. I mean, your forehead is huge, bruh.
Now, there's so many more characters out there that are great representations of diversity we see in anime, like Bob Mikiyata from Tenju Tenge, Canary from Hunter x Hunter, and Miyuki Ayukawa from Basquatch. All anime shows you should definitely check out if you haven't seen them yet. The inclusion of these and many other culturally and racially diverse characters bring representation to the forefront of anime. Now, I'm really curious to know who are some of your favorites. No matter your race, background, or gender, surely there's an anime character out there that you identify with. An anime character you see a little bit of yourself in. Let us know in the comment section down below. And for more on anime and all things everything else, keep it right here on IGN.